Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're watching Prison Break. This is the 9th episode of the first season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for free in the link in the description below. Just click on it, put the password in, and enjoy. So last episode was trying to find Bob's killer. Yes, we know it was Teabag, but the officers don't. Pope and Bellic was on the lookout. They was trying to ask other inmates to snitch on people. None of them was talking. Now Bellic went over and he was speaking to Charles. He was saying, look mate, you've been here for so long. I would consider us to be kind of friends. You know, I've never really busted you for doing anything, and you've been a pretty decent inmate, but I know that you know something. I know that you was there. Somebody told me that obviously he died in front of you and you seen who the killer was. Now Charles was turned around and said, look mate, you know, I've been in this game long enough to know that anybody who snitches is not good for them. And basically Bellic was saying, look, if you don't give me a name by the time we go out of this cell, then our friendship is done. He didn't give him a name. He stroked his cat. I knew that was going to be the end of it. Later on in the episode, he returned to his cell, cat's dead, and that is obviously Charles wanting to get his revenge. Now, interestingly, you know, Michael, he needs to get into a certain location to dig under the floor so that he can carry on with the plan. Now, for them, unlucky, it is actually in the location where the CO's break room is. Now, Charles, perfect person, because he's been in there so long, he's trusted a little bit, he can go in and out, dropping off like supplies, and because obviously he believes Bellic's killed his cat, he's actually gone in there, started a fire, burnt the whole place down, which is giving Michael and the rest of the PI crew enough time to basically go in there, repair all of it. You know what I mean? They've been assigned the new construction team, and while they're doing the repairs, they're obviously working on their escape plan. But Teabag, again, has wormed his way in there because he has actually framed one of his friends, if we put that in quotations, for the murder of Bob, which has took eyes off him. Then he's obviously gone over and said, look mate, if you don't get me on this team, I'm going to sing like Johnny Cash, just like he said in a couple of episodes back. And he's obviously, like I said, wormed his way in. Now, another interesting thing that's actually going on is the Secret Service is stepping up again. They've gone after LJ. They didn't actually kill him, but they killed his mum, they killed his stepdad, and now they're trying to frame him for the murder, just like they framed, obviously, his dad. They've gone after Veronica as well, and obviously the person that she's working with right now, by setting a bomb in her apartment and exploding it, killing the maintenance man. So they're not messing about, mate. Literally, them two have gone in hiding because he actually survived the blast, and it turned out that in the person at the end who's been speaking to them over and over again and giving them instructions to take everybody out is actually the vice president herself. So she is the person calling the shots. She actually killed her own brother, and she's the one actually trying to eliminate all of the basically connections that could tie it back to her. So very interesting, and I can't wait to find out more. Thanks for checking out today's episode. If you do enjoy it, please smash the like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, let's jump into the 9th episode of the first season of Prison Break.
Help me.
You'll have to forgive my boy.
Maybe you ought to cut the kid a break.
You wouldn't be meddling in my affairs now, would you, Schofield? Not when I'm so fully invested in your affairs.
What's between you and him is between you and him.
That's what I thought you said.
This is my son we're talking about. For God's sake, he's missing. Do something. Find him. I know how he thinks. I know where he'd run. In case of a family emergency, you can grant an inmate supervised leave.
Your son is a prime suspect in a double homicide.
It's tough that he kind of got him. We've seen somebody get granted leave, didn't we, earlier on, I think?
You see that? See my face up there? Any idea how it got there? Work ethic. Do words mean anything in your country?
It will take ages, that won't it?
Find this stuff, they'll know we're digging. That's why we gotta get rid of it.
Look at all them.
Let's put on a jail face, BG. Crab see you puckering, they gonna bitchify you in a heartbeat.
Oh, I said I thought he was going to come part of it. I just had a feeling that he was going to be part.
You ain't a fish no more. You ain't the newest con in the tank, no.
I could have done something.
Teabag had his hooks in that kid. There was nothing you could have done.
Turned my back on him because I didn't want to make waves. It was just easier. That's not how she raised us. A man's down, you give him your hand.
You've given me your hand, Michael.
They belong to my father. We've been through a lot, and I'm freaking out here as much as you are. But you get this look in your eyes sometimes, like
He's
I'm
the problem.
bad guy.
Yeah, she does. She always looks at him like that.
You know something? I got enough of my own crap to deal with. You want to go, you go.
Mind if I land with you, cuzzo?
Roll, Snowflake.
Just new, you know, I'm looking for some homies.
I said roll.
All right, y'all.
Abruzzi!
Yeah?
What are you doing? First of the month's coming up, John. I haven't got my monthly. It's got to be some kind of a mistake, like an accounting error. I'm going back into my office at the end of the day and check my balance again. If it's not up to where it's supposed to be, all these privileges you got, like running PI, they're gone.
Sorry, Mr. Falzone's not available.
What? Kate.
The old man used to call this his serious tie. Only wore it when he really meant business.
Way I see it, we're just gonna be running in circles if we think we're gonna find exculpatory evidence before the execution. You wanna go after the Queen Bee yourself?
Leslie Stedman. Everyone in town knows the old bird lunches at the Lexington every day. With the society set.
That'd be interesting if they go right after it.
Everybody out. What? I said everybody out.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, aren't we?
You damn skippy. Let's go.
Oh, we're gonna get caught.
By who?
By the warden. Oh!
Baby, right now.
I am the warden.
I am the warden.
Look at the table. Oh, mate, the guy's close.
You son of a bitch.
Innit? They know the score.
You think you found the hole?
No.
The C Corps, the investment accounts, even the offshore stuff. Philly Falzone liquidated everything. You know where to contact me if you need anything else.
The same goes for you.
Hey. Philly.
Oh, no way.
Looks like there's no record of a Fox River medical practice on our list of participating HMOs or PPOs.
Before we go into this, right, it doesn't make any sense to me that that guy's cutting funds off John. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he has been busting his balls consistently about get the job done, get closer to Michael. Do you know what I mean? Get us Fibonacci. You know what I'm saying? He's taking his kids out to this, to the lake and all that. Get it done, get it done, get it done. And then you're cutting the resources for him to do it. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? You were scared that your ass was on the line, that if he testified in court that you was going down, he was going down, everybody was going down. Yeah, now obviously he's working his way. And it was your plan as well. Basically, you know, he cut his toes off and he was saying, look, maybe this is not the best approach to go with. Maybe instead of making him your enemy, you make him your friend. And do you know what I'm saying? And then he's took that approach. He's actually making progress. He's got here, he's got an escape plan, he's got a time, he's got a date. Well, not specifically, but basically, we're getting to that thing. He knows that Lincoln is got time ticking, and their plan is to be gone before that, which is hopefully the time that they need so that they can get away and obviously get Fibonacci before he testifies. So, like, cutting resources, cutting money, cutting power, cutting everything, it doesn't make sense. You basically just dig in your own grave. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, okay, you might get a new inside man, but that new inside man is not going to have enough pull, enough power, enough reputation, the same as John Abruzzi has for how long he's been there. So, to me, it's just kind of internally self-destructive, which it doesn't make any sense.
Mr. Schofield's insurance policy from his previous employer hasn't lapsed yet. For that reason, the state's demanding that you pay for his treatment, and not the taxpayers.
Here, he already met his deductible.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait, that's his psych deductible, not his medical.
All right, psych isn't psychiatric?
Listen, there's been a restructuring. You couldn't deliver Fibonacci. So I'm the man in here now. Kill you in a heartbeat. Somehow I doubt that. The sooner you face facts, the better off we will all be.
I just don't understand how they say he can't deliver him when he's clearly making the best progress that he could do.
Heard about my kid, right?
Take the tray, Link. Take the tray, or I'm gonna shove it in there and you can eat it off the ground.
You got a son. Josh.
Don't do anything stupid.
I just want to ask you a question, then I'm gonna let go. What if it were Josh?
It is tough, really, because you can kind of have a good relationship with an inmate, even though you know that they're a criminal. You can kind of see his face, to be fair, like.
What they're saying about me, it's not true.
I know it's not true.
They killed her. They killed her.
Okay, I want you to call Veronica.
Her number is disconnected. I already tried.
Nick Severin. You call Nick Severin, works for Project Justice.
They're here.
Who's here?
LJ.
If you had social media back in the day, you'd be able to post that picture online and then it's done for everybody to see, do you know what I mean?
LJ?
It's lucky because the cars in the US are massive, that's why you can roll underneath them.
I'm Dick Sissel. This is my associate, Francette Kelly. We're with the National Victims' Rights Association. We were hoping you could help us with one of our more public cases. The Lincoln Burroughs case.
If we talked about who had motive to kill Terrence, we'd be here all day. I'm sorry? Look around. Half the people in this place were shareholders in his company. As soon as rumors of the indictment started, you should have seen them run for the exits. If I didn't know for sure Burroughs pulled that trigger, I'd say it was any one of these people in this restaurant.
Struggling to find a car to fit in, he's definitely going to end up with Teabag.
Not a good position you find yourself in, is it? We're different, you and me, by the way. Do you know the funny thing is, we're also a lot alike. How's that knee, by the way?
What the hell you doing?
No.
Hey, you get up in this, you got another thing coming, you homo. And you come near me again, I'm gonna kill you.
Oh, look at this guy.
Well, then you're just gonna have to, little man.
You gotta sleep with one eye open, girl.
Wow.
You know, bitch. Oh, I'm gonna.
See, that was interesting, that there, because obviously he was like, he didn't physically say anything kind of derogatory to him until he called him a homo. Do you know what I mean? He basically just said, I'm not into that fruity stuff. That ain't too bad. But then when you physically go in and say that, that's where he's taking offense. And obviously, you know, he's going to come after you. Basically said, you do anything as well, I'm going to kill you. I mean, he's going to be up for it. I don't know how serious this show gets in terms of situations, but imagine if he sexually assaults him. That's what I'm thinking, mate. I wouldn't put it past Teabag so far. I've seen his character, the way he acts, the way he looks, and the stuff that he's done so far. Do you know what I mean? I won't say that's not on the card. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens here. But like I said, we're on the 9th episode. This is the 3rd person that he's tried to get, kind of be his get me in my pocket. Do you know what I mean? So the first one, he actually really enjoyed it. It was his kind of own fault for attacking Michael, wasn't it? And then Michael didn't kill him, somebody else did. It was part of the riot or the fight, wasn't it, between the two races? But very interesting stuff anyway. This guy's come in, caused a bit of chaos himself, to be honest, and made an enemy straight away.
Sure you can understand my reluctance to discuss past patients.
I'm not accustomed to making inquiries like this, but I feel like I can get through to him.
People who suffer from low latent inhibition see everyday things just like you or I do, but where we just process the image of a lamp, they process everything. If someone with a low IQ has low latent inhibition, it almost always results in mental illness. If someone has a high IQ, it almost always results in creative genius. He became very attuned to all the suffering around him, couldn't shut it out. He became a rescuer of those people who were more concerned with other people's welfare than their own.
I didn't know all this about him.
Then maybe you don't know Michael Schofield.
He's feeling some sort of responsibility for him now because of what happened to the other one. You know what's funny is people think they're tough guys, don't they, on the outside until they get put in prison and see the real stuff, the scary stuff.
Lincoln's son LJ just left me a message.
Good. Actually worked.
You gotta come get me.
We can't, okay? We're not in Chicago. You have to come to us.
Whoa. Everywhere I go, they're there.
I want you to listen to me, okay? I need you to come to us. We're in Lake Mercer.
Okay, I'll keep it on.
They're just doing another explosion. I'll try and kill them all again for the 3rd time.
I need to know that you hear me, okay? Lake Mercer.
He could have said, I've got a photo. They wouldn't have been in range to hear that one. Is he going to go after that guy?
What the hell are you doing?
Delivering yesterday's news.
How's he got into his cell? Unless they're cellmates.
Wanted you to know that if you're looking for someone to talk to in here, you're not alone. It's part of my job to counsel inmates and help them with their problems. But you have to understand that there's a reason I became a doctor. It's in my nature to want to help. From what I understand, it's in your nature too. You did a lot of good things before you were in here.
The man you're talking about died the moment I stepped inside these walls.
They're just tracking his phone. That's what they're doing, clearly.
Gentlemen, United States Secret Service, please remain calm.
Well, has he done something with that picture? Otherwise, he's just give it him.
Come here.
They're leaving.
Oh, here we go. That's good. Not seen him text a picture over though, have we? Why'd you been in those 4 walls?
Received communication from your attorney.
What's it say? Yeah, that's really good, that. I remember the first time I ever seen that, I think, was in a Simpsons episode, and basically, obviously, they posted a a story in a newspaper, and the first letter, this was a word, each word at the end of the sentence, but the first letter of the thing went down and it spelled something, and I always thought that was amazing and so clever, and obviously they just used it there. And to a standard person who's just reading it, well, you would think as well, people who inspect things and prison like that would look for, they're called, like, it's not technically an anagram, there's probably a real technical name for it, something like that, but people are always on the lookout for those type of things. Really clever though. It's good that he knows, so he can get a bit of reassurance that his son's okay. Oh, look at him.
Right now.
You want to sing? Then sing. You don't have the guts. You want out of here just as much as the rest of us. You and I may be stuck together in this little dance, but I call the shots. First shot, that kid out there. You don't touch him ever.
Brucey. You and me, we gotta have a conversation.
I was thinking, can it support the weight of all of them?
Didn't fall through.
Alright, no way.
You gotta give me more time.
You've had your time, John.
You tripping on something, Alice?
He's gonna let it slide until it ticks up and he boils over. He's gonna say something, yeah, you better walk.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Lamp it up in here again. I'm fitting to wreck some shop.
A new team.
What's happening? What they doing?
Fixing the break room.
That's PI. I run it.
Not anymore, you don't.
Right, so that's the end of this episode, right? The thing that I don't get, and it doesn't make any sense to me, is that they've taken Abruzzi from being the leader. You know, they obviously want to get this information from Michael for the Fibonacci, so that they could go after him and they could kill him before he testifies in court. Now, he's clearly making progress. Like, I know they're not inside the prison, and I know that, you know, from their side and the outside, it feels like nothing's actually happening, but it actually is, and nobody could ever actually confirm the progress. You have to take somebody for the word for it. Now, you could be on the outside and you could be paranoid, just like clearly they are, and they've actually, you know, basically give somebody else the reins to go after it. But how is the guy that Abruzzi's just kind of smashed the glass and stabbed his eye, how is he going to make more progress about getting Fibonacci than John? You know what I mean? Basically, Michael's the key. Now, unless all of them are just going to go and beat up Michael, then I don't understand what their approach is going to be. The whole point of him being in there is to extract that information. Now, they tried beating him up and cutting his toes off once, and it didn't actually work. So what? Is his new plan to go in there with a new set of people, a new gang, and beat him up again, and hopefully this time he talks? You know what I mean? To me, it doesn't actually make any sense. I don't understand how they can make more progress than him. They've gone in there to be PI, fixing up the shed. That's not going to progress the, you know, the information and Fibonacci. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, in their terms, I think that it makes no sense. You know, maybe later down the line we get some more given to us and we see it, but I currently think that John was obviously the best approach for it. He was getting things done. He was getting closer. Like I said, he could potentially give a time frame when he's going to be out, when he could give him, hand him over, kill him. Do you know what I mean? He knows that Lincoln's got a certain amount of days to live and they're going to be out on the basically outside. Prior to that happening, everything was, I wouldn't say falling into place, but there was a chance that it was more in place than it currently is now. Do you know what I mean? I feel like they've taken steps backwards. Sometimes you say you got to take 2 steps back to gain, you know, 1 step back to gain 2 steps forward. But I feel like this is 5 steps back, and you're not even gaining 1 step forward because none of them are even any closer to Michael. None of them have got no information, none got no connections, none of them infiltrating his kind of like camp and team. And I don't know, I feel like they've just literally just cut the head off, you know, the top basically, and self-destructed themselves. So I'd be interested to see what they do with that. And let's be honest, technically if they go in that room now and start demolition or whatever, they should find that hole instantly. They really should. So I guess next episode is going to be interesting because they're going to be in panic stations. They're going to be wondering what's happening. They're not going to be in there for long, obviously. I feel like they're going to get their jobs back. But in terms of who finds out, and we're guessing maybe one other person will find out, or at least somebody's going to anyway. Especially the guy that obviously gave Michael the drugs. I knew that he'd be in it at some point. I had a feeling, just an inkling, do you know what I mean? He's been sus, he's been watching him a few times. I mean, he's not been in the last like 3-4 episodes, but again, today he's watching him drop the rocks on the floor. He's picked it up himself. I feel like he's going to be part of the escape plan as well. Somehow, don't know how he's going to bring his kind of, I don't know, benefit to the team, if that makes sense, but I'm excited to see how it goes. Okay, that is going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out our channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So interesting stuff. We've had a couple of new inmates obviously arrive at the prison. I actually figured out why they call him Fish, or well, it was explained basically he's no longer the new arrival. Yes, they've got other people coming to it, and you can see that one of them potentially could be a new character being introduced. He had a bit of airtime today anyway. He was decent, and you know, you could see that T-Bag was taking a liking to him. But in terms of the, you know, the escape plan, basically Michael said, look, mate, I'm calling the shots. I'm the person in charge. This is my plan. Basically, if you want to be part of our team, then you need to leave that guy alone. Because we did see in today's episode that his previous, you know, his previous cellmate, the person that obviously has been getting to hold his pocket, actually killed himself in fear of everything that's actually going on with T-Bag and all the surroundings and everything that is making him do. Michael obviously feels that he's got a bit of weight on his shoulders and, you know, possibly a cause or aiding in his death, because he reached out for him for help, and basically, you know, as he was saying to Lincoln, he turned the other way. Basically, he was thinking that if he helped him, then it would have caused a bit of trouble for him, and he just thought about keeping his head low and moving forward. And like he was saying, his mum's always taught him that if a man's down, obviously reach out and help them up, and obviously he didn't do that in that situation. But Lincoln's turned around and tried to flip it a little bit and say, well, that's what you're doing to me. Do you know what I mean? I'm down in the dumps, I'm literally there on my last legs, and you're coming in trying to save us. Now, an interesting thing is Sarah, she's taking more and more and more, you know, interest into Michael. She's digging deep into his psychiatric past, you know what I mean? She's ringing doctors, she's speaking to therapists, you know, she's checking his medical records, she's checking out family, you know. I feel like she is actually gaining a bit of feelings for him. Now, she keeps playing it off that he's a patient or he's somebody who's actually here in the hospital that sorry, in the prison that she can actually get to. Usually all the other inmates, she just deals with them because it's obviously her job to, and they're only there to either take the drugs or heal their injuries. Where Michael, she feels like he's actually a normal person. Yes, I know she knows that he's inside prison, but she feels like, you know, he's actually a person that's kind of on her level. He's kind of from her way, and you know, he's taking a lot of interest and liking into her. He's obviously showing this bit of extension when he was saying, when we get off here we can go on a date. He saved the life as well, technically, let's be honest, he really did. And you know, I feel like she thinks he's attractive. They've had a little brief moment where they stared into each other's eyes, and it's been a couple of times where she's actually been looking at him and been searching and researching about him. Now, I do believe, you know, there is a firm a bit of thing in her where she's actually doing it from a doctor point of view. Like, she actually does believe that he is one of the people that she could technically get to, and maybe she's not actually had that before. She's not had a breakthrough in the prison system, and that's why she's so heavily focused on Michael. But I do feel like the more she digs into it, the more she finds out he is a normal person, if that makes sense, then the more she well, get attracted to him. Now, I thought it was interesting that the therapist was saying that basically Michael's got something. I can't remember like the exact terms, but basically he was saying, look, if you look at this lamp here, me and you, the standard Joe Blogs, would just look at it and say, that's a lamp. Somebody like Michael would look at it and say, look at the screws that was made for that. Look how it was, you know, the metal that it was constructed with. What about the base? How many, you know, like angles is it used to project the light in a certain direction? Do you know what I mean? Like, he looks into the finer details of everything. That is why he's a master kind of strategist. Do you know what I mean? That's why he's got the tattoos drawn on his body. That's why he's be able to put everything in motion. Basically, the doctor was saying that people who have his condition, it can either go two ways. If you've got a low IQ, then this will just send you loophead. Do you know what I mean? The fact that you're analysing and going into everything so deep and going into the, you know, like every little nook and cranny, it will send you crazy because your mind can't process it properly. Where someone like Michael, who's really smart and really educated, and then we can see that he's, you know, got degrees and stuff like that, you know, he's able to basically break it down. He can see all the complex things, all the equations. He can break it down into different little parts. He can make out, you know, different things that he needs to, and that is why obviously this plan looks like it could potentially go well. So far, his tattoos has portrayed well onto the wall. They got through it, they got the tunnel. Is that managed to use his chemicals? Well, he says to melt through, I think he was saying the metal pipe or the copper pipe. We're not really seen that yet, but like, you know, his way around the prison when he got obviously Sarah, everything that he's kind of doing right now is going well, and you know, I'm excited to see what we do with it. It's really, really good so far. Like I said, the Secret Service committed, absolutely committed. They've gone in, they've killed, obviously, LJ's mum, killed his stepdad, trying to frame him. They've been chasing him all episode. You know, they tried to kill Veronica, tried to kill the other guy. They tried to chase him today, but he's duped him. He's left her falling in the bus. He's gone and seen them in a different location. I'm hoping that he texts a picture to them so they've got it as well, so they can go to the police and start building their case. But again, like I said, they are full on committed, and you know, every time I see them, they do stress me out. So I gotta say, it's good casting from the show. If you did enjoy today's episode, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you do, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.